Welcome to our lecture online. Here we have two objects that contain charge Q and have mass m. They're both suspended from a string. Now, if there was no charges on the two objects, they would be sitting side by side. But because of the repulsive force, they are repelling each other, they're pushed to the side, and so the strings now make an angle of theta relative to the vertical. The length of each string is equal to L. And the question is, based upon the angle, the length L, the mass m, and the charge Q, what is Q equal to in terms of all these other components? Well, to do that, what you need to do is draw some vectors representing the forces acting on these two spheres. First of all, there's a force of repulsion due to the Coulomb forces, which means this charge is going to be pushed to the right with a force F sub c, and that's going to be equal to K times Q divided by the distance between them squared. On the other side, you have a similar force pushing this charge to the left, and again, the Coulomb force is going to be equal to K times the product of the two charges divided by the distance between them squared. Next, we realize that since they have mass, they're also being attracted towards the Earth due to gravity, so I have a force pulling downward, so this is going to be m times g, and it's the same for this force right here. For this side, it's going to be a force equal to m times g. And then if we take a look at each one of those charges separately, we realize that there's a force push, in this case, a force pushing to the right, a force pulling to the left, and then there's a tension in the string pulling the object this way. And since everything is now in static equilibrium, and we don't mean charge-wise static, we simply mean that nothing is moving, all the forces should add up to zero, which means we can take these three forces and add them together vectorially, and they should add up to zero, which means we can draw them in a triangular format. So we have the force due to the tension, that looks like this. We have the force mg pulling downward, and then we have the Coulomb force pulling the object to the right, so this would be F sub c. And then this would then be the angle theta. Now, all three forces added together should add up to zero, which means we can now find the relationship between these two forces. We can now claim that the tangent of the angle theta is going to be equal to the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. And notice that in this case, the opposite side would be the Coulomb force, F sub c, and the adjacent side would be the weight of the objects, mg. And that's going to be our starting point to try to find out what the value of Q is in terms of everything else. So let's again write the equation that the tangent of theta is equal to the Coulomb force divided by the weight of the object. So we can write that the tangent of theta is equal to the Coulomb force can then be written as K times Q squared over the distance between them. All right, so the distance between these two charges, let's say, well, that would be this distance right here, d. And if we bring this all the way down, then we can say that this distance right here would be distance over 2. And, well, we'll get there in just a moment. We'll write down what we need to write down. So I have K Q squared divided by the distance between them squared, and then we divide that by mg. So solving this for Q squared, we have Q squared is equal to d squared mg tangent of theta all divided by k. Let's see if that's correct here. So we have d squared mg comes over here, put that together, divided by k. Yes. Now, we then say that Q is equal to d times the square root of mg times the tangent of theta divided by k. Of course, k is 9 times 10 to the 9 newtons meters squared per coulomb squared. The only thing left to do is find d in terms of everything else. So what we can say here based upon this triangle is that d divided by 2 is equal to the hypotenuse L times the sine of the angle theta. Because d over 2 is opposite to the angle, so we take the hypotenuse L times the sine of the angle theta should equal the opposite side, d over 2, which means that d is equal to 2L sine theta. Then we come back over here, we plug that in here, so Q is equal to d, which is 2L sine theta, times the square root of mg tangent of theta divided by k. And if you're given any values for any of these, if you're given the length, the angle, the mass, well, that's it. You need the length, the angle, and the mass of the object. You can then find the charge on each of the two objects. And that's how it's done.